People love to say karma always comes around, but nobody tells you how loud it can be when it finally shows up. Sometimes it doesn't tap you on the shoulder, it kicks the door in and makes everyone in the room go quiet. This is something I learned the hard way on a night when I was invisible, underpaid, and one bad shift away from losing everything, and I had no idea that one small choice was about to flip my entire life upside down. I was 24 at the time, working as a banquet server for a high-end catering company in Manhattan. High-end for the guests, not for us. For us, it was stiff uniforms, aching feet, and a rule that got repeated so often it felt like law. Don't be seen, don't be heard, and never get involved. I lived in a tiny walk-up in the Bronx with my younger brother who had a chronic kidney condition that ate through money faster than I could earn it. Every shift mattered. Every tip mattered. Losing that job would have been a disaster, and I knew it. That night we were assigned to a private charity gala at a luxury hotel overlooking Central Park. The kind of place where the walls are quiet, the lighting is perfect, and everyone inside looks like they were born knowing they belong there. The theme was generosity, which always made me laugh a little inside because the ticket price alone could have paid for my brother's medication for months. Still, I kept my head down, carried trays, smiled when required, and did my best to be what they wanted. Invisible. The guests were exactly what you'd expect. Hedge fund types, socialites, influencers, pretending not to be influencers, all dressed in confidence and expensive fabric. Near the center of the room was a woman named Brooke Langford, early 30s, sharp smile, colder eyes. She had a way of talking to staff like we were malfunctioning machines. Snap her fingers, tilt her glass, expect results. I had already refilled her drink twice without a thank you, but that wasn't unusual. You get used to it, or at least you tell yourself you do. About an hour into the event, the main doors opened quietly. No announcement. No attention. An older woman walked in alone. She looked completely out of place. Late 60s, maybe wearing a long, dark coat, sensible shoes, holding onto a cane like she needed it more than she wanted to admit. She paused just inside the doorway, eyes scanning the room like she'd stepped into the wrong movie. I remember thinking she looked like someone's grandmother who took a wrong turn. The room noticed her almost immediately. Not out loud, not at first, but you could feel it. Heads turning, whispers starting, a few smirks. Someone near the bar laughed under their breath. The woman took a few careful steps forward, and as she passed Brooke's group, it happened. Brooke shifted her foot just enough. I don't think anyone else saw it clearly, but I did. The cane slipped. The woman lost her balance and went down hard. Her purse spilled across the marble floor. A small wallet, a few old photos, a rosary loose change clinking as it rolled. For a split second, there was silence. Then Brooke laughed. Not nervous laughter, not surprised laughter, but amused, deliberate laughter. "Oh my God," she said loud enough for people to hear someone get maintenance. "We've got a mess." A few people chuckled. Phones came out. No one moved to help. I froze for half a second. I shouldn't have. I knew the rules. I knew what getting involved could cost me. But I also saw the woman trying to push herself up, pain written all over her face, surrounded by people who looked at her like entertainment. Something in my chest burned. I dropped my tray. Glass shattered. Champagne soaked into the floor. My manager yelled my name, but I was already kneeling beside her. I told her not to move, that help was coming, even though I wasn't sure it was. I wrapped my jacket around her shoulders and asked if she could feel her legs. She looked at me with these sharp, dark eyes, way more alert than I expected, and said in a thick accent that her hip hurt. Behind me, my manager was losing it. Security was being called. Brooke was filming narrating like this was content. That's when I got fired. Right there. My manager grabbed my arm, told me I was done, told me to step away and let security handle it. I shook him off. I told him she was hurt. He told me that wasn't my problem anymore. Brooke laughed again and said something about people knowing their place. That's when I realized something important. To them, I never had one. Then the doors slammed open. Not gently, not politely. They slammed so hard the music cut off mid-note. 6 men walked in all in dark suits, moving with purpose, scanning the room like predators. And behind them was one man who changed the air completely. Tall, broad, calm, in a way that made your stomach knot. He didn't look angry at first. He looked focused, like someone who already knew exactly what he was about to do. People started backing away instinctively. Someone whispered his name. I didn't know who he was yet, but I knew he mattered. He walked straight toward us, ignored everyone else, and stopped when he saw the woman on the floor. Then he did something no one expected. He knelt beside her and took her face in his hands. "Mama," he said quietly. The room went dead silent. That's when it clicked for people. The older woman wasn't a nobody. She was his mother. And the man kneeling beside her wasn't just some rich donor. He was Victor Hale, a name that carried weight in places polite society pretends don't exist. He looked up slowly, eyes scanning the crowd, and asked one simple question. Who laughed? Nobody answered. He stood, helped his mother into a chair, and turned back to the room. He asked who tripped her. He asked who fired me. When he spoke, his voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. He told his men to lock the doors. The sound of the locks clicking echoed like punctuation. Brooke tried to apologize. Badly. She said she didn't know. She said it was a misunderstanding. Victor watched her like she was something unpleasant he'd stepped on. He made her apologize to his mother, not to him, to her. When she did, it was messy and desperate, and it meant nothing. He turned to me next and asked my name. I told him. My voice was shaking, but I stood up straight. He offered me money, a lot of it. Enough to erase most of my problems in one move, and I surprised myself by saying no. I told him I didn't help his mother for a reward. I did it because it was right. If I took the money, it would turn the whole thing into a deal, and I didn't want that. His mother smiled. He studied me for a long second, then nodded. I went home that night thinking I'd destroyed my life. No job, no backup plan, just adrenaline and fear. The next morning, a lawyer knocked on my door. By the end of the day, my brother's treatments were covered, our building had new ownership, and I was offered a job as a personal aide to Victor's mother. Salary included, housing included, safety included. Life after that didn't magically become easy. It became different. The estate was quiet, controlled, tense. His mother was sharp and stubborn and absolutely refused to be treated like she was fragile. Victor was distant, always watching, rarely speaking, carrying something heavy behind his eyes. Over time, I earned trust. Hers first, his later. Then, someone tried to kill him. The attack wasn't dramatic. It was fast, calculated, meant for me. He took the bullets instead. Watching someone bleed because they stepped in front of you changes you. While he was unconscious, things started happening around the city. Pressure, threats, movement. Everyone watching to see if the structure would crack. That's when I found the truth. The betrayal came from inside. Someone trusted. Someone untouchable. I took what I knew to his mother. We waited. We planned. When the traitor came back to finish the job, Victor was awake. He'd been waiting too. It ended quietly. No speeches, no spectacle. Just consequences. Months later, we stood in another ballroom, different faces, same type of people. The laughter didn't sound the same anymore. Brooke was there too. She didn't recognize me at first. When she did, she looked away. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. Here's the thing. I didn't win because I was powerful. I won because I refused to look away. Because I didn't accept the role I was assigned. Kindness isn't weakness. It's a test, and not everyone passes. So let me ask you this. If you were there that night, would you have knelt down knowing what it might cost you? Or would you have stayed standing, filming, laughing, telling yourself it wasn't your problem? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear them. And if this story made you uncomfortable, good. That's where the truth usually lives.